just do it on the bottom of that sheet, it'll be fine. Just on the bottom.
Good evening, councillors, ladies and gentlemen, and so many of you. Welcome all to Denley Parish Council's Amenities Committee meeting on the 9th of July 2025 at 7:30 in the old school. Firstly, we have apologies from Councillors Berry, Hall, Jones, Ranger and Councillor Langford-Smith. Councillor Langford-Smith is also our district councillor, and tonight she is serving in that role in Winchester at a full council meeting. Item 2 on the agenda, declarations of interest arising from this agenda. Members and officers are invited to declare any relevant interests. Notwithstanding this item, members may subsequently declare an interest at any point during the meeting. Are there any interests to declare? Okay. Item 3, minutes of the previous meeting. To receive and confirm the accuracy of the minutes held on the 28th of May 25. Can I have a show of hands for those who were present? Thank you. That's anonymous.
Can you sign that, please?
Okay. Just here.
Yeah. Just initial at the bottom of each page on that side. Sign that.
This is all stuff we have to go through every meeting, so. Thank you.
And then sign the back page.
Okay, so, sorry.
Yeah. Could I ask that all votes from now on are recorded, please?
Of course. To make sure. Yeah, in fact, if we verbalise the vote as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, item 4, public participation. So this is your opportunity. The meeting will, if required, recess for no more than 15 minutes for questions and comments from members of the public on matters appertaining to this committee. So could I just ask if anybody does want to speak to us? Okay, and can I ask which matter, I was going to say agenda item, but you don't have agendas, which matters you want to address the council on?
So mine's the relocation of the bench in King George V Playgrounds.
Okay, which is item
7.1.
Thank you. Okay, and next?
Mine is the green belt between Ashland Park Road Cottages and Holmead.
So the piece of land between
Between the two, there's some talk about it being cleaned up.
What was going to be the community garden?
you mean behind
Brookside Cottages.
Brookside
Close.
No,
Close.
you know Ashland Park Road, bottom end, where cottages are.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Brookside Close.
That bit, it's the bit behind it,
Yes.
which is at the back of their gardens, and it backs on to some of the estate gardens.
Yes,
and the
that's-
car park.
Yes.
Yes.
That was going to be.
Okay.
That's what my interest is.
That's
Okay.
thank you. So we can do that.
I don't know.
Okay, we'll just listen to.
There is no
to
gender
that.
item on that.
And next,
It's item 10.6 on the agenda.
item 10.6.
The community garden is 10.2.
Oh, well, sorry, the published agenda is 10.6.
Yeah, fence at Heathfield.
Oh, okay, yes, yeah. Okay, and next. Is it Issa?
Yeah, I've got It's the relocation of the bench in St George's Playground.
Okay. So it's item 7.1 again. Yeah. Is that everybody? Okay. Yeah?
No, it's
Same. Okay. So what I propose is that...
Councillor
Sorry?
Was there confusion over the lake because that was St George's? The bench,
Is it King George?
it's the KGB playing field. Is that?
The
Yeah.
tennis courts,
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that
It's-
the same?
Yeah.
It's item...
7.1.
7.1.
Yep.
Okay, so what I propose then is that we move those items up and deal with those first, if that's acceptable to everyone. Can I have a show of hands of those in favour? Okay, so let me first, we'll deal with them in order. So relocation of the bench, item 7.1. So I think you were
Okay,
first.
so we need to say my
Yeah.
piece about that. Yeah. Okay, so my name's Andy Tarr and I submitted the original agenda item to the council to have that relocated, and of course thank you for your time this evening anyway to listen. So I do understand as a resident that, you know, the park's there for the use and enjoyment of everybody. You know, and as a resident living next door to the park, I do understand that we're going to be hearing noises of football games, tennis, everything that goes on there, cricket. And occasionally we get the odd rogue wall that comes over the fence. And of course I've got no objection with throwing that back at all. Most times, you know, cricket players are quite gentlemanly, and even some of the young lads, when they kick the ball over, they'll come to the fence and say, excuse me a second, and just kick the ball back. Quite happy to do that. However, there is a growing youth element at the moment that seems to be intent on damaging property and causing a disturbance, which does seem to be focused around, I'll say, the remote bench. But I believe that this remote bench is in somewhat of a black spot as far as the CCTV coverage from, I guess, the pavilion. Is it located in the pavilion? So I don't think it's visible from there. So also I believe that moving the bench is almost certainly going to be a win-win for both the groundsman, really, who have to clear up on a daily basis with the absolute mess that's left around this bench, and obviously we too as residents do get quite a lot of stuff thrown over the fence, which again we've got used to clearing up on a daily basis. And also, if it is moved to a central location, it'll be easier for the groundsman to get at, and it'll remove that black spot, and it should then be covered by the CCTV camera. And on the other side, for the residents that this affects, it will give us quite a degree of peace of mind as well to have that relocated. I do understand that in the past, so there has been a precedent set, because I believe that there was a similar submission that was successful by residents on Southwark Road, whose property is also back on to the playing fields. They were having the same sort of issues with the bench that was backing onto their boundary fence. So theirs was successfully moved as a result of their submission. So I believe there is that precedent in place. That's all I've got to say on the matter. Did you have any questions for myself?
So what will happen is that when we finish the public speaking session, we will then move to discuss the item on the agenda, which is our time to
So it's your
talk.
private
So,
time afterwards, yeah.
not private,
Yeah.
no.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Public, yeah. So, just, I think you wanted to speak on the same matter.
We're in a similar situation to Andy in so much that we back directly into the park. In fact, the bench is probably 50 yards from our back garden, our hedge, probably less than that. And in the same manner, we understand people use the park, it's a recreation park, but what we've noticed within the last decade is an increase in what I would call quite antisocial behaviour. We sit in our garden on a Saturday and Sunday, and there is swearing going on all the time. Loud music is going on. We've mentioned this a couple of times to the council without any comeback. Nothing's been done. So what we did, we taken on ourselves to take pictures of and take some of the pictures of some of the evidence. We know there's drug use there. We have seen needles there, and we know there's dope smoked in that park. We smell it every Friday night, every Saturday. Without a doubt, I'm a pharmacist, trained doctor, so I know what dope smells like. So there is smoking of dope in the park, and we now probably don't invite many of our friends as we used to because of the swearing, and it's just embarrassing sitting in our back garden and every other other's neff or sea. So we stopped inviting people around, and from our perspective, it is antisocial behaviour. And we filmed, I think we sent an email to the good self there. We do have a video of a person on a motorbike going around that part of the park. And I know they're not very active in the park. So it's becoming a little bit of an irritant for us, if I'm honest, that people can think that that's okay to do in a park. So from our perspective, it's similar to, and we don't want to steal people's enjoyment of the park, but it seems that it's become a little bit more aggressive from the user's point of view, of upsetting people who are similar to someone standing at your front gate and having loud music and smoking dope. You would leave them on. It's our back gate, and although it's a park, it's something that we found quite disturbing.
Thank you. I didn't catch your name.
My name's Rob Britt.
Robert. Are there any questions for the gentleman?
Have you reported these to the police?
Not to the police, I haven't. I've reported it to the council.
I've reported it to the police, particularly one Saturday night we had half a panel ripped out, which was quite shocking, to be honest. So I did call the police at that point, or submitted an application to them, and I got a polite reply offering a telephone number for victim support and to say that no further action would be taken. So as far as contacting the police, yes, I have done, but to be honest, I don't think it's not going to progress any further with the police. So.
I would encourage all reports to the police because it built up a case of events going on, and it gives us ammunition for when the Safe Neighbourhoods panel comes in the village, we hold it. It gives us ammunition to say that we should have police presence, especially in the park of evenings. Otherwise, if we don't get any feedback from 101 or things like that, then it's hard to put a case over that there are issues. And we quite often get told in Safe Neighbourhoods that the issues in Denmead are very good and very, very low. So the more reporting to the 101, it's laborious, I know, but it builds up a picture for the police.
Okay, understood. Just repeat ones as well, if we do get repeat ones.
Yep, just each time that there's something you can report, you know, that you feel worthy of reporting, then report it, you know.
I would just like to ask, has it escalated over a period of like months, or I guess it's better,
years.
is it better in winter?
Lockdown was lovely.
Well, to be honest, lockdown wasn't the thing they used to get over there and gather
Well,
anyway.
Is it just as bad in the winter?
It's particularly, sorry, Paul.
Winter is no, it's
Yeah.
summer, it's
Summer
obviously
weather,
summer,
yeah.
and then you get the drinking issue as
Yeah.
well. The park keepers must be so fed up clearing
And there's-
bottles and
And
cans.
there's drug paraphernalia?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we
I think
noticed
it's
drug
really
paraphernalia
serious.
and needles again.
Yeah, for our staff as well, yeah.
And
More for
you know,
anybody, but yeah, particularly people that are having exposed to it.
and we do have video evidence of the person cycling the bike, because I just got so annoyed with going zoom past my hedge, not 10 yards away, that's it. So I walk round and I've got a video appealing when he
So it isn't just sudden, it's a culmination of
yeah,
escalation.
but it's relatively constant. There's always something. So on a Friday night might be a kid with a beatbox, and I'll be having a beatbox, having smoking their cannabis, and then swearing. So you get the effing and T's and all those things.
That's
Which
very
you get
stressful.
from here. It's unpleasant. It's just unpleasant. To be honest, it's not the way that it should be.
No, not singing from top of that.
No. So, but if you want us to report every time it happens, I'll probably be
Talks about
constant on
paraphernalia.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. That's the problem.
I
Yes, it's
think,
happened.
as Councillor Brown says, it builds the case for the fact that, you know, there is an issue. And I know it is well there.
We don't want to spoil the park for everybody
Need to
else
move on.
enjoying it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, can I just add, particularly during the winter months, during the daylight hours at weekends, we still get some level of disturbance as well. If you've got a nice day, then you'll still get, you're right, it does diminish over the winter months purely because of the lack of daylight and the weather. You know, some days we're even praying for rain during the summer.
Thank you.
I need to push us on purely because of time.
Okay.
But I wanted to ask myself if you feel that the bench location provides a focal point for this sort of activity.
Yes, indeed. That's one of my points that I made. It is
Okay.
definitely a
And then just to also totally reiterate what's been said, and I know it's frustrating and you feel you report things to the police and nothing happens, but it does take that repeated reporting. You've got so much that you've said to us tonight already, and we won't get an increased police presence unless they perceive there's a reason, and if they're not getting reports, there's no reason.
I mean, I have definitely mentioned it a couple of times when the community police officers been
Yeah.
outside COP. So I made the reports. to them.
When
I
they
said,
run their
"This is-
statistics to say, you know, what reports relating to Denmead in what areas, if it doesn't come up because it's not on the system, I would encourage you absolutely to do that.
If we run out of time, we're allowed to extend it. Yes.
So thank you very much indeed. Was there anybody else who wanted to speak about that particular matter? Okay. Right. So over to you.
Well, I believe that this is the first time this has actually come up on the agenda, so you haven't had any discussion about it before at
Can
all.
we absolutely confirm the piece of land you're talking about? Because the piece of land we think you're talking about has been on the agenda previously, so I just want to make sure.
Well, I think when I went around to the council, to the council building to find out about how to go about it, they said that this was the first time it actually come up on the agenda, and this is the first time I've seen it. So I've no idea.
It's
how
a piece of land,
Sorry,
isn't it?
it's this bit here.
Yeah. Relating to the community garden, is it? Yes.
Well, it isn't a community garden at the moment.
Okay.
This
No,
came as a
I-
complete surprise.
It's been
I think
withdrawn.
things are going to become clear to you
Oh,
during
and
this
that's what
meeting,
I've come to find out
but
about.
you're wanting to know what's going on.
What's going on?
Okay. Sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Jeannie Gaskin.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. And item 10.6. Heathfield.
Yes, thank you, Councillor. So first of all, I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Sarah Green. I'm the proprietor of Denmead Preschool, and I'm here with my manager, Katie Miller. I just want to make two brief comments. Firstly, I'd like to thank Councillor Clay and Councillor Stahl for visiting the preschool in June, and I'd also just like to extend a welcome to any other councillors who may wish to do so in the future regarding this discussion or any other. We're always happy to have members of council or community visit us. And secondly, it was really I'm keen tonight just to introduce myself to any councillors that I've not met and to answer any questions you may have in relation to item 10.6 on the agenda.
Thank you.
Is it 10.6? Is it still 10.6?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so we will move to discuss Has everybody who wanted to speak spoken to us?
Right.
All right, thank you. So
We'll bring 7. We need to close the participation.
yeah. Right, so I'll close the public speaking session at
7:49.
excellent. Right, so we will bring 7.1 forward now. Okay, so we're going to go straight on to agenda item 7.1. Now, we have now, so this is our time to speak now, okay? So you've now received, or we've now received 4 letters highlighting this item. The situation, when you look at it, is you've got dense hedging this side, then the fencing panels,
Yes.
and then dense hedging that side. The bench itself sits just, if we're looking that way, just to the right, so not in front of the fencing panels, but just to the right of it. That's fair.
Yes. That's correct.
You've received the correspondence, you've seen the photographs, so we need to discuss and determine action. Consider, discuss and determine action. I guess, just to start the discussion going, you know, options are that the bench is removed. If the bench is removed in total, or that it's relocated, but I think as one of the residents' letters stated, please don't put the bench at the bottom of somebody else's garden. You might be happy, but they may not.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to transfer the problem to somebody else.
So, Councillor Scody.
Just make a point. You should take the bench away. What will probably happen is they'll go to other benches, but the other entrance is to the park. So transfer the problem small anyway. So I don't know what to do.
I think. Is there only one other bench in there by the
The only other one's the skateboard.
near the skate park?
I don't think there's another bench near Howard's.
It,
Yeah, there's one near the car
Yeah.
park entrance.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Yeah.
all right, so that's.
But I mean, that's it
That's,
anyway, I think.
There was a suggestion when I was discussing it with our amenities clerk that I had grounds when I'll ask you, Sam, that we did have some hedging whips and things that we could. This is obviously a long-term solution, that we could plant and complete that run of hedging. That's not a short-term solution, is it? Sam, can I ask for your view on, if you have one, of what we might consider?
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching the youth for 6 months probably, as it's got gradually worse. I've actually chased the motorcycle. But he just keeps going around. It's, and yeah, to catch it, what can you do anyway? I mean, they know that. Yeah. So they just bust through the gates. I mean, we've had a lot of vandalism. I've probably put in 10 101 reports, and I did get a call from the police, and they said they was going to do an overnight visit. I mean, I don't know how many they've done because I'm not there after 4. I've never seen the policeman there during the daytime. But I just thought if they turned up more regularly, even if it's just once a week on a Thursday or Friday when they're about, it might put them off doing such things.
More police.
But like I said, I've got half a whole township.
Do we have a feeling of the core hours that this takes place?
It's a bit random, really. I mean, I think the motorcycle was on there on Sunday.
It's been there. It's been there a couple of times. Yeah. And generally, in good weather, it's sort of from.
I
When we go home.
I don't wish to appear rude. It's the strict rules that we have to adhere by. Your time is unless we open it back up for public, which we sometimes do. I'm sorry about that. Councillor Vickers.
I personally think it's a no-brainer. I think we have to remove the bench. I know that might be drastic, but I don't think people should have to put up with such intolerable situations just because of a bench. I hope that it doesn't relocate somewhere else, and I hope that the problem doesn't, but if it does, I think we have to address it then. I think that this situation, given the fact that there's drugs and there's vehicles in the, I just don't think it's acceptable.
Councillor Scully.
Yeah, I think we put the bench in as a convenience to the rich people, and it turns out it's an inconvenience to the rich people, so we ought to remove it.
Councillor Clay.
I think I agree with the majority of the opinions here that the bench, I think, does need to be removed. Kids, if you want to call them that, will sit anywhere, but they tend to aim for structures where they can park their cars safely rather than on the grass. So it's definitely worth trying this to see if it makes a difference. Sam, can I ask for the health state of the bench? Is it any good? Can we keep it if we remove it?
Put it somewhere else of value.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be put on concrete plinth. That's the only thing with it.
Right.
But it's not.
Sorry.
We voted at the last meeting to put a bench by the Harvest Home. Could we
That's what
relocate
I was
it
We've
there?
already bought that though, haven't we?
No.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Possibly, if it's in good nick. What I was going to say is that I agree myself that I don't think there's a choice but to move the bench, but I'm not sure it's going to be an instant fix because the delightful young people have learned to congregate there. And if there's a piece of concrete there, it's still going to potentially be where they hang out. Councillor Brown.
I would suggest that we remove the concrete and regrass the area so that there is nothing there.
Yeah.
And we don't put the bench back in until we can work out a suitable place for it to go.
So we look to repurpose. So do we have a proposal?
I think there was a proposal.
Yeah.
I'll second it.
So can I have a repeat of the proposal, please?
That we remove the bench and the concrete base and regrass the area so there is it is just a field again.
Councillor Vickers?
Well, I wonder if there's some sort of level of amendment, in that I think your idea to sort of like think about putting some bushes in or some things in the future is probably quite a prudent idea, and it's a secondary form of diplomacy as well. I don't know if that's viable or cost effective or just putting it out there, I guess.
I think my concern is that you've still got this visible, it's the only place along there, you've got this visible stretch of fencing, which I think from what I've looked about maybe 4 panel widths or something like that. And that's still going to be that gathering place, and I do. So were you suggesting an amendment to the original proposal?
Yeah, I guess so.
Right, I had Councillor Scully, I think you had your hand up also.
Yes, I was just going to say that removing the bench is a good idea, but it won't solve the problem. They'll still congregate there. So perhaps we could plant some thorns or something.
Good native hedging. Councillor Brown.
The planting hedging is not on this agenda. It is only about removing the bench.
But I think it can still be part of a proposal.
It's not on the agenda, Chair.
I don't have an issue with including the proposal, being as it's part of the bench issue. I'm happy to allow that. Councillor Brown?
I'll raise a point of order then, Chair, that it's not on the agenda tonight. The removal of the bench is on the agenda and nothing else is on there.
Which point of order?
What would you like to do? It says during debate of a motion, a councillor may interrupt only on a point of order. Personal explanation of the councillor who is interrupted shall stop the speaking. A councillor can raise a point of order and shall identify the standing order which he considers to be in breach, or specify irregularity in the proceedings of the meeting concerned.
Okay, I accept your comments. However, the chairman decides on whether to accept the point of order, and the chairman's decision is final. So, do we have a?
I've got a point of order there. It's not the chairman's decision. It's down as council.
Standing orders 1 are: a point of order shall be decided by the chairman of the meeting and his decision will be final, and I will move on.
If you read Q above that, which is what I was referring to, Chair, that is the part I'm referring to.
I'm going to close that down now. I'm quite happy to take that responsibility. Do we have a final proposal, please? So we removed the bench and the concrete. Did I have a seconder for that proposal? The original proposal, thank you, Councillor Clay. And then we had an amendment which was
To plant some bushes, some trees, and some hedging.
to look at doing that.
Yeah, to look at it,
because we need to make sure we've
and
got
to look at
Did,
the viability.
yeah. Do I have a seconder for the amendment? Thank you very much. Have you captured the complete? Okay, can we have a show of hands? All those in favour?
What you asking for a show of hands in what?
Could you repeat the full proposal, please?
You need to vote on the amendment first, which was Councillor Vickers.
Okay, so if we vote on all those in favour that we look at I suppose the cost viability of utilising the existing grips and planting hedging in front of those panels. All those in favour? It's a recorded vote, so we have Councillor Vickers, Councillor Staller, Councillor Clay, Councillor Carson. All those against? We have Councillor Brown and Councillor Scoley. That is carried.
Can I also have it minuted that the Chair in order point of order on the matter, please?
So now,
if we can move to voting on the full proposal now. So
on the original proposal as amended.
so the original proposal was to remove the bench and the concrete
And regrass.
and regrass. Thank you. So if I could have a show of hands, all those in favour. Recorded vote, Councillors Vickers, Stallard, Clay, Brown, Scoley, that's unanimous. Thank you very much. Right, so the next matter that we will bring up in order of public speaking. Yeah, do I do that or just get it down the agenda? I don't actually have to bring that forward, do I, the community garden?
Next, it's all to note.
Yeah, I'm going to leave that and bring forward 10.6. So, Councillor Clay, I'm going to bring forward 10.6. So, item agenda. Councillor Brown?
There is 10.2, community garden.
Yes, I'm going to leave that until after 10.6. So, item on the agenda 10.6, the field fencing. Councillor Clay, could I ask you to deliver your report on that, please? Councillor Brown,
I'll wait to hear Councillor Clay's report.
you had your hand up.
You would speak to Councillor Clay first. I was waiting.
Okay,
So-
I've called you in. Councillor Brown, did you want to
Okay.
speak?
Is this a report from the Lease Working Party?
It is.
And then the Lease Working Party reports the full council, doesn't report to this committee, Chair.
Oliver, okay. That is true. Is it not? But we're not discussing items on the lease. It's relating to a meeting with the play group. It is not actually to discuss the lease at this point. I think if it's decided to discuss the lease, then that certainly would go to full council. Councillor Brown.
The fact that it was a Lease Working Party that had to bring a report back, then it is to do with the lease. That was what they were supposed to be looking into in the ways of...
There is no lease.
No, but because we don't actually have a lease. The request or the visit, the meeting was to discuss a letter that a correspondence asking to discuss fencing. It is not relating to a lease, so I am actually going to allow it to proceed. Councillor Brown, one more time, and then we'll move on. So,
I'd like it minuted that you've ignored another item that should be on a different committee. It shouldn't be on this committee.
all right, thank you for that.
Thank you.
I would like it minuted that it is not relating to a lease because we do not have a lease. Councillor Clay, perhaps we could move to the details of your discussions with the good people.
So, myself and Councillor Stowers, in Councillor Berry's absence, attended the preschool at the Warm Oil Ball, and we met with Sarah and Casey to discuss the permanent fixture of erecting a fence to replace what they currently use, which is metal barriers which they have to erect daily. And considering this takes manpower to do so, time and resources, we looked at the benefits of permanent fence, and we bring back to council the report that's been circulated along with the photographs. And as you can see from the photographs, this isn't an area set in stone. This is just currently what they use, and they barrier off to keep the safety of the users inside and to prevent them from running angle, running away, etc. Currently, discussions with Sarah and Katie. They would be very happy to work with the council if it is approved for permanent fencing to be fitted. As for the design, and work closely choosing that with council, they have agreed to maintain the fence and complete all funding for it. As shown in my report, there will be access in and out of the area by public gate and also double gating to help facilitate equipment in and out, mowing, etc. My view on it, I think it's a good idea. It will save the preschool a lot of time, and a permanent fence rather than a metal fence will look good. And we've also heard heard nothing from the Memorial Hall in ways of objection, but I do know that they would be happy for it to go in place as well. We've had a quick chat with them. But as you can see from my report, there's a little bit more detail in there, so in my opinion, I would be happy for this and for council to consider.
Could I, thank you, Councillor Pope. Could I ask our head groundsman in terms of maintaining the field and mowing? Would it present an issue for yourselves, for your grounds team?
It's not really any different to the amount of fence being raised. As far as I know, it's not mountain, so it's not going to change too much.
Maybe access, double days and single days, so yeah.
Actually, at the minute, we're going inside anyway. We don't go inside the metal fence anyway. We just cut to the edge.
Okay, thanks. Any more comments?
Again, I
Councillor
just think
Vickers.
we have to think about children, we have to think about safeguarding, you know, the memorial is somebody's who won't, you know, I just think it's, you know, we have to look after the children that are in care of, you know, the preschool, and I think I don't see the difference between having a messy gate and having a structure that would look probably much nicer. I guess it's going to be at your cost and you're going to maintain it and it's not going to rot. So I don't see that there is much to talk about really.
Councillor Brown.
Can I ask whose insurance it will go on? Whose liability, public liability it will go on? And we also don't allow people to work on parish council land. And also how much the rent of the land has been discussed.
Yeah. We don't have usually council class notice a session, but they do have their own public liability of 5 million. Yeah, their own insurance to cover that.
So in terms of hiring the field out to for any other events and so on, does anybody perceive that it would radically impact our ability to rent that field out for events? Councillor Clay.
I don't think it will overly impact it, although because that particular section, the land will be reduced, we may have to look at the costing for the field of hire. But as I currently look at, it hasn't been used for hire outside of the preschool for a very long time. I can't remember the last time it was used by the public.
That we've had anybody book it for a party or event or anything like that?
It is booked. It's booked for birthday parties and a lot of birthday parties, and they then book for having a bouncy castle, which we would then have to probably refuse because the bouncy castle tends to go on that area of land. So we'd probably lose income there. Also, it may impact things like if we were to have another gin festival, and we were going to have a food festival, but he's reconsidering, knowing that there may be less land available.
Councillor Brown.
Can I get clarification, Chair, that you're intending to give a piece of parish council land away for free?
I'm not intending to do anything, Councillor Brown. We're discussing.
That's why I'm asking for clarification, Chair, is that the land inside the fence is not to be charged to the preschool.
Your question, your statement was, I plan to give away a piece of...
With all due respect, I did ask for clarification. I didn't accuse anyone. I asked for clarification that you were intending to give away a piece of parish council land free.
And I clarify, I'm not intending to do anything, Councillor Brown. We're discussing it and determining action as a council.
Council, would it be prudent for the public session to be opened again so preschool can answer
I think we need to kick things around a little bit more. I do want to say some. I think there's a heck of a lot more discussion. I don't think we can make the finite decision this evening. This is my feeling, my views. I don't feel we can make a in favour or against decision this evening, because I think an awful lot needs to be discussed on a number of points. I don't feel that something like a permanent fence would be advisable outside of a formal lease or so on, something much more formal. Because who knows, in the future, permanent fencing is there, the preschool moves on elsewhere, and then we are left with a fenced off area that if we wish to remove, we've got the cost of doing that. So I'm just chucking in some additional thoughts, all right? I think there's a lot more discussion that needs to be taking place. Councillor Clare.
Just on that point, I did address Sarah and Katie for how long they will probably be at the Warnmore Wall, and currently they have no intention of moving. They're quite happy. They've been there for some time, many years in fact. Yes, without a lease, currently hiring, but they at this moment have no reason to move. They want to stay where they are.
The safety of the children does concern me as well. Councillor Brown.
Can I ask, will we be offering this also to the other play group that we have in the, on council land?
It's a good question. You know, does this set a precedent? And that's something we have to consider. I think we also have to be able to state that each situation would be assessed on its merits. Councillor Vickers.
It's a fence. It's not the Berlin Wall. It's a fence. It's a fence. Fences can come down. We're not asking. I think we're losing sight of the fact that it's a busy road. Children like to be outside. Staff don't have eyes in the back of their heads. I think a fence is appropriate. We're not asking to build a big structure that's going to cost us millions to take down should the need arise. I think that there's a level of culpability that we have to consider this. And I'm quite disappointed that we're losing sight of actually where we are.
Thank you. Councillor Scoley.
It is not just a fence. There is no reason to erect a fence there for safety of the children or whatever. This argument has been produced in the past and been poo-pooed, and we've ignored it completely as a council because there is no danger to the children. There is no road that runs through the middle of that piece of land where the fence would stop people running out in front of, say, Walnut or something like that. At the end of the day, there is no real reason to put a fixed fence there. And the one thing that we want to avoid as a council is to set precedent in sectioning off a piece of council land and allowing it to be taken over by other people for no actual benefit to the council or without any comeback from those people to the council. So this has got to be carefully considered, as we have done in the past. We refused this in the past a couple of years ago, and for many different reasons, and he's carefully looking into it. Can't just decide on the basis of my thoughts.
Councillor Brown.
Unfortunately, we do not have a duty of care to the children. That sounds really harsh when you say it, but the commercial business that runs the preschool has the duty of care to the children. It is not this parish council, because if we take on that liability, that opens a whole new can of worms.
think.
I've got one
I'm sorry. You will have to wait for me to invite you back in. I've got. Oh, I mean, the metal fencing is an eyesore. You're correct, Councillor Brown, that it is not us that has the duty of care to the children. But I do have leanings towards Councillor Vickers' statement, but I do think that the metal fencing is such an eyesore. I wonder if there is anything that the preschool were able to do out of hours, so when they're not occupying it, that if a fence existed, that it was accessible to the public, because I think that that's been a major sticking point in the past, is that an area of land owned by the parish council that's for public access and enjoyment is separated off, and that's, I believe, is the concern about setting precedent. Councillor Scoley.
This is what we looked at in the past, and that was why in the end we agreed to have a fence that could be erected and then taken back down again when it was needed. So that was the answer that we came up with, and so that's where we are now.
I think it's, thank you. I think it's always good to visit things with fresh heads and ideas as well. Accepting that the decisions were made then. Councillor Clay.
Just picking up on that point there, giving clarification. The proposed fence includes a standard gate for daily access. So both gates, if erected, would be locked during use for security and the safety of the children. Once the preschool has finished for the day, the gates are left unlocked for public access. So I'll look forward to
have we got an indication of what type, height, wooden fencing, height of fencing?
Oh, there were pictures for the last meeting, I think, but I haven't recirculated.
Yeah,
maybe you know.
So yeah, similar heights to what's already there. It's not a deer fence at this moment, but the preschool have already stated they will be willing to work with us to make sure that the fence that is chosen by them and brought is a suitable one and that we give approval. So they will work with us making that decision.
Councillor
Brown was first.
I will come back to the point that you are allowing a commercial business to put up a fence that is on parish council land that we have no control over, and I'd like to know if the RFO would be happy with it insurance-wise.
Councillor Clay.
We could always put agreements in or set up a lease with the preschool. I know that one we could look into that.
If I may raise a legal point, I would suggest that no agreement be given without there being some form of legal documentation in place.
Yeah.
I would also remind committee that if the legal documentation takes the form of a lease or licence for more than 7 years, it will have to be subject to section 127 of the Local Government Act on disposals of land.
Which is?
There is a procedure to follow.
I'm sure there is. Okay, and I think really that's not a surprise to hear. We can't. I don't feel that we can have a proposal that quite simply says yes, they can put a fence up. We could have possibly in principle, but that we must have these discussions on the legal aspects as per our clerks advice there, that we could take the discussion forward. Councillor Brown.
If you are talking about a long-term let or lease, it needs to go to full council.
And indeed it would come back following some further discussions if it starts to, which is, at some point we would have that need to bring it back to full council, absolutely. Yes.
I was just going to say also, because I'm not sure how many councillors are aware, but the current arrangement is that we invoice the preschool annually for them renting a section of the field.
Mm-hmm.
So there is no written agreement whatsoever in relation to the use of the field. It is purely an invoice that goes out and is then paid.
Thank you. I mean, all that would have to be resolved for sure. There would have to be a proper agreement within, I suspect, a leasing agreement, at which point it would need to come to full council. So that's not going to be a quick thing, Councillor Brown.
I would propose that we are far too ill-informed about the fence, time period, the size of the area, whether the RFO is happy with it being someone else's fence on parish council land. I think this should be brought back to another meeting when there is more information and the correct information.
Councillor Clay?
Previous proposed outlines have been previously circulated in ones gone before, so it's really just the same layout and outline of what's been put out before.
Can you expand on what that previous proposal had there?
Yeah, no. Hence why the photographs here isn't the exact area, but those documents have been previously circulated when this came to council once before. So they've already designed and brought this, so it's pretty much been prepped, I think. I think last time it came to council, correct me if I'm wrong, the main issue was whether or not there was going to be locked or open access to the fencing. Other than that, I don't think at the time there was no other major concerns. It was just whether or not this gate was locked or unlocked. It's now going to be unlocked when the preschool aren't there locked during use. I don't know any other.
I believe it was Councillor Brown first.
I seem to remember it quite differently in the fact that it was about putting a fence up and not just about the fact of it being locked or unlocked. That was more of the crux of the matter about a fence on parish council land. So, as I say, I feel we are not informed enough to make a decision.
Councillor Scully.
Going back some, the actual argument previously was whether the land was actually owned by Denny Parish Council or not, and it was laid claim to by the War Memorial Board, and we put that by looking at legal things, and the preschool was allowed to fence off a section of that land, and on the basis that there was a gate there, and they would unlock the gate during the daytime when the preschool wasn't there. And they never did. They kept the gate locked all the time, so we complained about this. And in the end, we decided to take a piece of land back so that we could actually guarantee access of the general public and identities to the piece of land, because people were hogging it and trying to pretend it was theirs and nothing to do with us. And so that's why we put notices up saying this land belongs to Denny Parish Council, which you can see it on the site. And this argument goes back for a few years now, and going back and forward.
Yeah.
And this is another little chisel that argument. So I think we ought to put it to full council and further discussions.
I have a proposal also that Councillor Clay, was it Councillor
Yes.
or maybe perhaps Actually, I wonder, Councillor Vickers, if you would be interested in assisting Councillor Clay in some, right. So my proposal is that Councillor Clay and Councillor Vickers have further discussion, detailed discussions with preschool and bring back to council to better inform such that the decision can be reached. Do I have a seconder?
I'll second.
Can I have a show of hands, all those in favour? Against? And it's recorded vote, sorry, in favour of Vickers, Councillors Vickers, Stallard and Clay and Carson, and those against, Councillor Brown and Councillor Scully.
Can I also have it minuted that you've gone against what the resolution of the it was sent to a least working party to deal with. So you're changing that resolution.
What resolution is that, Councillor?
It came from full council for it to be passed to the least working party. Because it was talking about disposal of land, and that's why it was given to the least working party. So if that can be minuted.
I don't believe that that's an issue. The discussion that's taking place is about a request for fencing, and we have
Chair,
stated
I only
very
put my
clearly.
point of view over and asked for it to be minuted. You've
And I'm replying.
made a vote
And I'm
and
replying.
it's been
Councillor
passed.
Brown, I have the right to reply.
Thank you, Chair.
Actually, we'll move on. Right.
Sorry. Do you want to take?
Yeah, it's too difficult. Right, so now we will go to item
7.2.
the community garden. Item 10.7. 10.7. So we're bringing forward to the member of public who wish to know what was happening regarding the. Okay, yes. So it's item 10.1, and we'll discuss 10.7 on the normal order of the agenda. So item 10.1 on the agenda is actually relating to the licence to cultivate that was granted by the parish council for the community garden, Green and Denmead. To note, for council to note that the licence number 30, the holder of that licence surrendered the licence on the 18th of June 2025. So we note that. And just to clarify for our member of public, that means that what you read in the Denmead scene is not going ahead in that location. Okay? That's just for us to note. All right, thank you. Right, am I back onto the proper agenda? Okay, so item 5 on the agenda. Matters arising and outstanding from previous minutes. You have that in your information pack. Any items that are needing to be discussed are on the agenda, but does anybody have any additional comments before we just note that? Okay. Alright. So, item 6, the head groundsman's report, and you're going to be busy tonight, Sam. I know that we have, so once again, we've had this circulated. I believe the cutting deck demo thing relates to item 13.1. Should we just discuss that at that point? Okay. So to receive a status report from the head groundsman, we'll discuss the items on the agenda. So I think we just need to note that report if nobody else has any comments. Thank you very much. So we have covered item 7.1 bench move. We come to item 7.2, which is a request to hire the football pitch from an organisation in Emsworth, One Church Football Club, who are looking for a pitch to train regularly and play on, and are very interested in using our facility. They would like to inquire about the possibility of booking the pitch every Saturday at around 10 o'clock for about 3 hours from the beginning of September. Ideally, this would be a recurring weekly booking. Depending on availability, could we please let them know, is the slot available, what our rates are for the weekly booking, and any specific requirements on terms that they should be aware of. And so to consider and determine action.
Just to clarify, I have gone back to them on the point asking about what our rates are and the specific requirements. I've advised them that we don't permit training on the main pitches, that the showers are not in use, that we do not allow under 18s to use the change rooms for safeguarding purposes, that they would need to provide their own goalposts as we do not own goalposts, and that the adult pitches are only available from the 1st of September to the 31st of March.
Okay. And I assume we haven't actually got a reply back for that.
No.
Yeah. Councillor Brown, I think you were... Councillor Scully.
Yeah, I mean, in the past we've had these requests and they've all been counted by Denby Football Club as saying that we can't use the pitches because we need them for our football. So we haven't been able to let them out. So it depends on Denby Football Club's use of the pitches, etc.
Yeah, Councillor Brown.
That was going to be mine. Is there any availability? Because as far as I was aware, Denby Football Club use it in those periods.
My understanding was that certainly Denby Football Club use it on a Sunday, which brought the concern up for me that if it was being used for 3 hours on a Saturday, come autumn stroke winter, that the pitch may not be in a good condition for Sunday for our Denby team. Does Denby Football Club use it on a Saturday?
Okay. They do occasionally, yes. They have cup matches occasionally on a Saturday.
Occasionally. Councillor Scully.
Pitch conditions basically down to Sam to decide whether they can play on it or not.
If one of them's too wet, they occasionally use the other one. So they switch. So to me, no,
It's too difficult.
I'm not going to fit them in.
Yeah, Councillor Brown, did you have your
I
hand
was
up?
just about to say, I asked about head groundsman.
Any other comments? Councillor Brown,
Just one other, the fact that they're going to have to transport goals
the Memsworth.
to our...
Yeah. Do we have a proposal, please? Oh, sorry, Councillor Craig, did you...
Opinion, regrettably, I don't think we can just...
I think it is regrettable because we potentially lose a revenue stream, but if it screws up our local team, they have our priority, and I think that's... So could I have a proposal, please, Councillor Brown?
I would propose that we go back to them and say sadly that it is there is no space and the local team takes priority.
Yeah. A seconder?
Yeah.
Show of hands, all those in favour? And that's unanimous. So yeah, the recorded vote is unanimous.
Chair.
Councillor Scully.
There is a revenue stream there, but we must always put priority on Denby local facilities
I agree.
rather than revenue.
Totally. Yeah. Okay, thank you everybody. So item, oh right. and this is what I thought was going to be a difficult bit. So item 7.3, the bowling club footpath. So we've had some quotes in for this. However, the difficulty comes from, we have item 12.2, thank you, Clark, which also deals with works to path in King George V fields. The works to that path have actually been identified as being in need of repair from our, what's the name of the report?
The Independent Playground
Thank
Inspection
you,
Report.
thank you very much. So that has been flagged as in need of repair. If we discuss item 7.3 and make a decision to spend the funds on that, we will not have enough funds to do the King George V path. We don't have enough funds to do both. I would like to propose that we discuss both items effectively together, unless anyone's got a better way of handling it. Councillor Brown.
The footpath that's down from the bowling club was raised as as far as I remember, a health and safety risk at the time, because it's roots coming up through the path, and the path is very dark because it's got trees overgrowing it. There is a way round it, that we don't have to do that path, because if you come away from...
Can I get the agreement? We can talk about them both together, and then we can... I think that's the sensible way. We've got one pot of money, we've got two paths needing work. Can I have a show of hands, all those who agree that we can discuss both items together? Okay, that's unanimous. I was not aware that we'd had a health and safety issue. I'm not surprised, because I've seen the photos on the bowling club one.
If I might share.
Yeah, sure.
The bowling club raised it to us at a meeting we had with them, and it was also, I think, written into the parish office.
Okay.
That the tree roots were lifting the path, and initially what the idea was to actually move the path left if you're walking away from the bowling club. But when I went for a meeting at the bowling club in my former role, there is a way that we don't have to do that in a bit of path, in that there is an entrance into the car park as you come away from the bowling club. There is a gap that allows you to go into the car park. My suggestion would be is that for the time being, we close off that footpath, which is gated at the other end. We close off the piece of footpath that has the issue in it.
And they go through the car park.
Would you kindly, for me, just scroll off where we'll shut it?
The bowling
this
club,
could be a
so
good
across
solution.
here somewhere.
Yeah.
It's obviously somewhere that's sensible.
This is the dodgy bit here.
This is the part here that's got it, and there's a gate on this end of it. The only issue we might have is that the gate on the car park is closed in the evenings, and there's no pedestrian exit onto Ashton Park Road. They would have to go across the car park to the Greenway and turn left and walk to Ashton Park Road.
Do you perceive that the bowling club would not be happy about that?
They have always asked us to put lighting in along there because it's so dark in the winter anyway, and I think most of the people that go to the bowling club drive anyway, so they are heading.
We have to do what we have to do, right? Yeah.
So,
so just to this is the one we're looking at, right?
Yeah.
And there are large trees that roots have damaged the tarmac, right? Even with juggling things around, we quite simply haven't got sufficient within our Sage Code 3011 to pay for both paths. I think that Councillor Brown comes up with what is a very good solution. how would we physically close it off? Councillor Scoley.
I'll just make a point that as we're limited on funds, this solution will be fairly cheap and it will avoid the health and safety issue, which is the pertinent one that we're looking at the moment. So I think that would solve all the problems immediately that we need to. So we can look at the other one now.
Yeah. Yeah, Councillor Brown.
I think it's something that our ground staff could do with some posts and either wire mesh fence or just posts. There is a gate at Ashton Park Road end which could be locked.
Is there anything that we might have overlooked in terms of objections to that solution?
Well, it's owned by the parish council.
So we can do
footpath. It's not an ideal solution, but I think until we can...
It does mean that we're basically going to do that until the next next financial year, so April. Councillor Vickers.
Can I ask Councillor Brown how he perceives that it will be received from the Bowling Club?
As I say, I think a lot of them drive to the bowling club anyway, and they have always said, I'm being a lot that way, but people with older people tend to have poorer eyesight, which is why I'm going that way myself. So it's why they tend to ask for lights to be put down that path.
I think it's always been historically where they've entered, so I think it's a bit of a change of mindset, isn't it?
I think, you know, we don't have money. We have to. It has been flagged as health and safety, which I wasn't aware of. We have the solution, as Councillor Brown says, it is parish council land. We have the right to close it off to, and therefore Councillor Brown.
I would say that we obviously put signs on the gate, and before we do it, we do inform the bowling club.
It would be nice to engage.
Yeah, obviously.
So can we? Yes, that's a very good point. So we probably want something on social media about that as well as any necessary communication with them.
I'm in contact with Keith at the bowling club, so I can
and something on social media because it will affect that. So Councillor Brown.
I actually think most people probably don't even know the path there.
You're
only going to the bowling club up there. If you're going into the park, you would go through the car park or.
I think it's because people that live there know that it's there.
Yeah. Okay. So. So can I have a proposal, please, Councillor Brown?
I would propose that we block both ends of the footpath off with suitable fencing or fencing at the bowling club end, and lock the gate the other end, and put signs on there to advise people that the footpath is closed until further notice.
And that we communicate with bowling club and we put it on social media, just cover all bases, okay? Yeah, good stuff. All those in favour, please? Second, sorry, thank you. All those in favour? You can't vote.
I'm not voting,
was that unanimous?
Yes.
On the recorded vote, yeah. I have to invite. Okay. Thank you. You are allowed to leave. Thank you very much for your attendance. Can I ask you to tie up on that after the official meeting? Good night, ladies. In which case, we will not. Sorry?
I'm just saying I'll email.
Okay. In which case, we won't discuss the King George V out of order, path out of order, because we can do that. Read my pieces of paper for that. Okay, thank you very much. Item 8. Kidmore Field, agenda says crack in the field, to consider the crack in the archery side, so in the archers area, in the archers lanes of Kidmore Field, to consider and determine action. I have groundsman, can I just confirm, is it a single crack or is it all the lines? So that agenda item is all the lines. So just to position it, so there are quite considerable cracks in all the lanes. In talking with our head groundsman, there's a feeling that it could have been caused by weed killer down the tracks, or indeed the paint that's been used, although that shouldn't kill. But basically what's happened is because the grass has died for a reason, whatever that is, the soil's just done that. We have another geological fault coming across Denmead. So that's the sort of little bit of background for you, Councillor Brown.
I will declare an interest. I didn't
okay.
realise it was actually.
Thank you.
I know about cracks as I am a Ville Bowman, and they are the. If you wish to have some information.
Yes, I would.
But I will not take part in
Okay.
any voting. The lines are painted in the same position every year, which is why the grass dies. It's just something that happens. When we have some rain, the cracks aren't as big. We're on clay. It's just something that happens. So I'll stop there. They are quite. Some of the gaps are probably 2.5 inches wide.
So you may not know the answer to this, but to your knowledge, Ville Bowman don't use weed killer down that.
I can categorically deny or say that they do not use weed killer. They paint the lines, and they have a similar machine to the line marker that the council has, and they use the same style of paint.
Councillor Clay.
In regards to action to be taken as a remedy, Sam, is it best to fill them in with soil?
That's the main reason of it.
Yeah.
Because we was worried
Yeah,
about the
yeah,
holes.
this
They're
one.
quite big cracks and I just to give a picture.
Yeah.
They need filling. But does this come down to the ground staff doing it now, or with the archery club take responsibility for cracking it as well? Because I don't want to order the soil and it's not
I understand, Councillor Scully.
Yeah, Miss Martin's namesake, clay, underneath. Obviously, we're on clay as well, and it shrinks during hot weather, which, funnily enough, we've had some of. And the only real remedy is to fill the cracks in the soil, in the soil. You know?
What I don't understand is where we, from my knowledge, my limited knowledge, where we use this paint in other areas, the grass doesn't die underneath. Is that correct, Sam?
Why not be on clay?
No, well, in Denmead's on clay, right?
Denmead structurally is not. I mean, down Anmore Road, for instance, you get shingle bank, sand bank, clay, shingle, clay, and it goes in bands all the way along. So it doesn't necessarily follow clay.
It has been dry on the ground as crap, but not in the straight lines. That hasn't been helpful. I mean, it could just be overpainting the grasses out, I don't know. But all I want to know is do we get the soil in, and then play my ground bomb to go and fill the holes, or is it down to the...
I guess what Sam's asking clarity on is, does the council pay for it, or do we ask Bill Bowman to pay for it? I think is that sort of like Councillor Vickers.
Can I ask a question? So next year, when it gets painted, would you consider changing your painting style? So can you not like avoid the crack and go so it gives the cracks the rest for next year?
I see your point. I see your
Yeah,
point.
no, it's not. I'm not being
No, I
funny.
see your
I just
point. I see
think
your
can
point.
you not give this crack a rest and do another line, just,
Although Councillor Brown's declared an interest, he's got more
I think
knowledge.
it's the
So
word that
let's.
I'm using, I maybe just need to say line,
Thank you.
thank you.
I understand where you're coming from, Councillor, because
Quite a lot
the
of
reason
picturing. Yeah.
the reason they are painted in the same place every time is because they are a measured distance from a set point, so we can't change.
You can't change the
We haven't got.
line.
There isn't. We have a waiting line, a shooting line, and then they're marked out in 10-yard and then 10-metre distances.
So the good news is that we don't have to paint the lines anymore because we've got the cracks.
Very well said, Councillor.
Right. Order. So we've never filled these cracks they appear most years, do they? Councillor Brown, you're probably better placed. Do they? I can't.
For someone who's declared an interest, Chair.
Oh no.
Yes, the cracks appear every year, every time it is dry.
Yeah. Okay. Have we ever?
There is also, if you look at the field, if you did an aerial shot of the field now, there are drainage trenches that run across the field as well, which the grass dies on them as well.
Have we ever previously filled the cracks? No. Francis.
Could I just remind the committee that there were huge cracks in the field last year for the Dino Derby, and part of the field had to be sectioned off for this. That was in the Scout half, so it's not just the paint that's causing the cracks.
I think we believe that. No.
You know that it does dry out, and there are cracks in the other part of the field as well.
So, was your hand up, Councillor Craig?
Yeah, I was just going to say that the fields are ours, so we have a responsibility. So I think we should get these filled in as a the council is happy for Sam to undertake that.
In terms of area, I mean, are we talking? Do you think about one of the 1 ton regular soils from all soils that we had previously? Would that do it? Because that's £75.
I think it would be more how much is it going to cost rather than what area we're filling.
No, we're talking about the cracks.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
How much is it going to cost to fill the cracks in?
I'm sorry, I'm missing what you're actually.
I'm saying that what we want to know is if we fill the cracks in, how much is it going to cost?
And that's what I was just discussing. Is one bag going to be sufficient? In which case, it will cost £75, including VAT. Councillor Brown.
Would you like some more information, Chair?
Sorry.
Would you like some more information for clarity?
Very much.
It's not every painted line that's cracked, and it's not right across every line that is cracked. It tends to be the centre section of the field that is cracked. Some of them, as I say, are this wide at the top. Could be this deep. One bag will not cover.
You don't think?
No, definitely not.
2 bags? give me a hand here.
If Sam starts pouring it in and then finds out he hasn't got enough, it's not enough. I honestly don't know because
we actually are looking at.
I've put an arrow down one before and gone this far, but an arrow is only my pen size, so it will go down quite easily.
Once you start.
And that soil will need to settle and be rained in, and then presumably topped up again. To a lesser amount, but okay. So, do I have a proposal from anybody? Councillor Brown can't. Councillor Clay.
I don't know how to work it. So I propose we go ahead for it, and for Sam, someone to work with Sam, so that the quantity of soil ordered will be sufficient. If not, we overdo it slightly, we can restore it and get them filled in ASAP. And
sorry, go on.
And that we ratify the cost approval now.
Just okay. Hold that. No, I don't think we can. I don't think we can say to ratify something on the next one for a decision we're making now. Just hang on a second, if you would, because I actually don't know which budget this would come from.
Chair, can I give some more information? Buying soil in ton bags, as they call them, is not a cheap way of buying it.
Not
The
if
cheaper
it's-
way to buy it would be to have a bulk delivery
Yeah.
of soil
Yeah.
tipped into the yard, and then we can move it. I say we, it's the royal we. Sam and the lads can move it in there.
The proposal got a bit extended there. So I think what we need to be saying, sorry,
Yes,
try again.
my proposal, sorry, is to allow Sam to order bulk quantity and perhaps we set him a budget.
I think we need to actually establish from the RFO that there is budget, which I'm sure there is, but we can't, well, I'm not sure there is, but we can't identify which Sage code. So we can do the costing for sure, and it needs to be done pretty quickly.
Can I give some more information?
Yes, you can.
Some of the cracks are that wide, and the digging of the holes in the field didn't help because some of them are right on the edge of the cracks.
So it's just...
And it is... Dinosaur Derby is coming up at some point.
September 6th or 7th. September.
Which
Have we
obviously
identified a budget?
that would need to be sectioned off, and that was a large portion of the field.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Just for information.
Okay. So, Councillor Scully.
Can I just ask Sam, how much is a 10-ton lorry of soil?
The ton's about 75, say 600 pounds.
That's from all sorts. We can get it
Yeah.
cheaper elsewhere, can't we? By the lorry then.
Although we don't know what the lorry load from all soils would be either. So, can we didn't have a second just yet. Do you? Can I propose that? Can I propose that we ask our head groundsman to assess how much soil is required and to come up with those costs and then discuss those with the RFO to establish which budget it will come from, and as long as it's all okay, if the RFO is happy, that we proceed. Does that work, Councillor Scully?
How is Sam going to be able to do that?
Well, at some point somebody's got to be able to look and calculate how much soil we need to. Yeah, you've got to be able to do that. It's not easy because they're cracks and.
Would you like some more information?
I would, thank you.
That is near on impossible for Sam to do.
Okay, how do we?
There is one solution to it. I mean, all sorts can't get their lorry down to the burial now because they've changed it, it's too big, they can't get down the lane. So they're putting the ton bags in the car park. I don't know if you saw those by the gate. So if I did have a drop off, whatever's left of it can be used for perhaps it can be used all year round with topping up graves all the time. But I don't know then what budget do you take that out of the
Burial
sanitary budget?
ground or. I think the RFO is going to have to advise how we would do that, but I think we're also back down to Councillor Scully's point that buying soil by the ton bag is considerably more expensive than buying a bulk load.
There is, I mean, I know you're quoting all sorts, they're quite expensive. There is another company locally that will deliver by the lorry load, and it's about 75% of the price of all sorts. So I can get the name of those people for you.
We would need to make sure it's the equivalent soil.
It is. Because most of the people I know that do
Because it's basic landscaping soil.
landscaping soil,
Yeah.
etc. And that
Yeah.
they use these people in all sorts because they're too big.
Okay. So, still struggling for a well-defined proposal on this. Anybody going to help me out? Come on, Councillor Brown. I think.
Well, I've declared an interest, so I can't.
Give me a hint of the proposal, and then somebody else can make it.
Well, the proposal would be is to order a bulk load of soil and have it delivered to the yard and fill it in until it comes up this high. There is no way of assessing. Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
retract that part and just go.
Yours went.
Francis, is there a budget at all?
I think we have to put a little caveat
We
to
have
say
facilities
identifying the budget,
maintenance.
Facilities maintenance.
I mean,
which is just a job, task
How much
that the
we got there?
RFO will know sort of instantly.
we've got maintenance of sports pitches. I don't know whether we can class that as a sports pitch.
It is, kind of.
Archery is a sport.
Yeah, archery
It
is a
is.
sport. It's the
So it's
playing
that,
field.
so it's we've got 1,000 in there.
Till year end, till financial year end. Okay, I don't think it's up to us necessarily to even answer that question tonight. That's down to the RFO. So we've had a proposal. Could you just recap the shortened proposal based on the assistance by Councillor Brown? Can we order a bulk?
The proposal is to order a bulk supply of soil.
Yeah.
To have it delivered so that Sam can access it freely.
Yeah.
And whatever's. That's just
Yeah. Don't. Less is more. Okay, can I have a seconder, please?
I'll second.
Okay, and a show of hands, all those in favour? Again, sorry, yeah. Councillor
Move it
Brennan has
rather than
declared an
vote
interest
or
on that.
take part in discussion.
You were invited. Councillor Langford-Smith.
Just to note for the agenda, I didn't vote on that item because I came in partway through and therefore wasn't in the full discussion.
Chair.
Councillor Scully.
For the sake of getting something done about it reasonably quickly,
Yeah.
could we not give Sam an indicative budget to say, well, you can go up to this sort of figure, and we can get the soil's got to be purchased and it's got to be infilled, so it's got to be done. We know it's got to be done. And you could say to him, well, we'll give you a figure, say like £500 maximum, and above that.
I understand what you're saying. However, I wouldn't be comfortable with.
Well, it's whether the council is comfortable with that.
I wouldn't be comfortable with doing that because we have possibly got £1,000 in the sport field thing. I'm just saying that Sam can have the discussion with the RFO tomorrow to understand where the budget is. We've made a resolution that he can order the soil, and the RFO will guide him. We don't need a vote on that.
Okay, so we need a resolution so that you can carry on with it before we get to the next amenities meeting, because we'll have to go to that.
Certainly not.
So we need to give him a remit to say, providing the RFO is in agreement with the sums that
we have a proposal that covers that.
Yeah.
We have that. But I take your point, but we have that. All right.
Yeah.
And Sam, you'll obviously discuss with the RFO tomorrow, I guess. Councillor Brown.
What budget did the funding for the soil report come from?
I actually don't know. And I can't answer that. The RFO will obviously be able to answer that. Okay. Right. Item 8.2. The
bins.
Sorry?
Bins.
Yes, thank you. So the location of the bins at the Scout Hall up at Kidmore. So the issue was that is that the large bins are on they are on the public car park. The Scouts presented a solution. Councillor Clay and myself went to understand what that solution was, and that solution has been circulated to you. I have to say that it seems a sensible solution, which is to, if you see your photograph, the gateway will be kind of recessed, and the space where it's moved back from, the bins, will then be located there, moving them off the public car park, the costs for that and the work for that would all be done by the Scouts. Councillor Clay and myself felt it was an eminently suitable solution, and actually we failed to really see any other obvious solution. So that was certainly our view. Councillor Brown.
There is a much cheaper option, which doesn't mean moving the fence or the gate at all, is that the pedestrian access is wide enough to get the bin through. The footpath that leads to the Scout hut. It has a railway sleeper on the ground just inside, and if the railway sleeper was removed, Grasscrete type product could be put there to make a semi-hard standing.
That's
You're referring to this?
That footpath. The bin will fit down that footpath. I can assure you because I've measured it. And that means
is that gate? Is that footpath? Has that got the gate on there, or
is which footpath, Chair?
the one that you're referring
No,
to?
there's no gate on there. There is an open entrance with a top banner saying Scout Hut on it, and the sleeper that's on the ground is pretty rotten anyway, and would be a case of our ground staff lifting it, and the bins being put in there at considerable less expense to council or the Scouts, and also the fact that yet again we don't allow people to work on parish council land, and you're proposing that the Scouts move the gate and pay for it.
Yes, I will open because I think we probably would be interested in your views on Councillor Brown's idea.
Yeah, Councillor Brown, thank you. We've corresponded about this before in your previous roles. Although it does seem like a good idea, unfortunately, we're not at the Scout Hut 24/7, sometimes we're not even there for group meetings. And the challenge we have is if we put the bins behind the fence, two things happen. One is, even if we put down the black squares that there was a previous resolution that I recognise, the ground will still sink in the mud, because it does outside the Scout Hut onto the main field, because that has also got under it that black square that you're talking about. Second thing is our bins are regularly not picked up on their scheduled time. So if we put a bin out, it could sit there for 3 days. Otherwise we've got to put it back in again, and out again, in and again. So from a logistical point of view, bearing in mind we're not there 24/7, it would be easier, and I understand your point, it's council land, which is why we put the proposal forward. We would do all the work, and signed off by Sam, and yes, we would move the fence, but by putting it there underneath where that proposed recess is currently old tarmac. So we wouldn't need to dig it up other than the fence posts being moved. That would give us a long-term solution that means we don't have to put bins in that. Bins have access to bins all the time, and they can put it back. And ultimately, to the point, is it takes it off of the public car park, which is the ultimate goal.
Councillor Brown.
Can I just answer a couple of questions? If you put Scout bins down underneath the Grasscrete, then it won't sink, because I have in my driveway, it is clay, and I've put the same stuff on my driveway, and I had a caravan, I've had delivery lorries on it, they don't sink if you put them down correctly. The other thing with moving the gate back is it's there for security reasons, that gate. And if you move the gate back, the side fence, if you move it back far enough to fit a bin there and be off the road, one, how far are you moving it back, what measurements are there, and two, you leave the potential that a vehicle could, if there's not a good enough fence to the side of it, it could knock it down.
I think the solution there would have to be a good enough fence. I do take the issue of having to put the bins, if we looked at the putting them down the footpath access, the responsibility of scouts to be putting the bins in and out, I think is, if they're not collected, is a significant issue. And that's probably the one that concerns me most.
If I may,
Councillor
Chair.
Brown, yes.
You inform your bin company where your bin is. My bin company comes into my yard, picks my bin up and takes it out and then puts it back again. It's not rocket science. Bin men will do it. They will put things in and out. We're not talking that it's going to be put back where you've marked the blue square on there. They only have to go inside that gate. It's literally rolling them round the corner and then back out again.
Any other comments? Councillor Langford-Smith.
Thank you, Chair. Just to say that we are not insured for any member of the public to work on parish council land, and therefore that work would have to be undertaken either by our ground staff, or we would need to get a quote in for an outside company to undertake that work. Members of the public are not allowed to work on parish council land. We are not covered by public liability insurance for that.
Could I ask, I would have to ask
You can verify
Kevin
that.
again about your own public liability insurance.
Yes, we have central public liability insurance that covers any scouting member for any scouting activity.
Scouting activity.
Which would be classified under maintenance. So we obviously have to maintain our building and the surrounding area, which is parish council land. So when we're up there grass cutting, for example, we're covered by our insurance to do maintenance work.
Councillor Langford-Smith.
When we've asked this question before, the RFO has checked with our insurance company. We are not covered, even if someone else has insurance, because it's working parish council land. So I would just like that verified with our insurance company, so that we're comfortable that we're covered.
Sure. I think it's a reasonable thing. You know, seeing lots of hands and body language. It is a reasonable thing to check for sure. Councillor Brown, you had your hand up too.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
I think everything's been answered so far.
Could I ask the question that if effectively the work could go ahead, but only if we utilised our own team, I'm assuming that that would be invoiced, and is that even a possibility?
It's a possibility, but the cost would be astronomically more, which is why we always proposed that we would do it, fund it ourselves. It's not so much about the parts, and no offence when I say this to anybody in the room, especially Sam. We get charged whatever it is, near 200 quid for Sam or one of his teams to come over and gate up for Dance for Derby. So if we're going to be there for 2 days, 3 days, whatever it is that the team of 3 or 2 are going to do, that puts significant costs. And as a trustee, I've got to get that through a budget. So it's a costing from my perspective.
Yeah.
Who does the work? If council agrees to the proposal, it's not so much who does the work, it's the cost effectiveness of the work. Because even if you voted and said no and imposed Councillor Brown's suggestion, Councillor Brown's suggestion, all that work we will be able to do ourselves, because we're digging up parish council land, we would be removing a sleeper, and the land would be probably twice the size because you've got to move the bin around the bin to get in and out. It would no longer be grass because it will defeat the object.
And you have also got the bins then present on the public path going into the field, which is not quite so nice. I think Councillor Clay was first.
Yeah. Just a
clarification, I can't remember. Was it a 1.5 metre in that you wanted to go back?
It's approximately 1.5 what I measured, yeah. That was recessed enough for the bins to be
Push that
off
gate
of-
back in.
Yeah, just inside the original fence line, which currently sits today.
Okay, all right, thank you. Councillor Brown.
Councillor Vickers had her hand up.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor Brown. I'd like to know what, you know, I don't know about the, I guess, the longevity of which solution is best, really. What is going to be the most likely to succeed and not. We're not back here discussing this in, I don't know, a few months' time, a few years' time. Scouts have been there forever. Probably going to be there forever. You know, it's what, you know, is there more, you know, credence to one than the other? I'm not a builder, I'm not a bin person. Don't really know that I can make a massive thing, but I just think you have to look at longevity and the cost. And what expertise on bins and brands and things like that.
I'm not very clued up on what's going on. Carrying on, I'm a bit confused. I haven't really been part of any of that.
Write it down.
For me, it's about like cost long term. You know, we might as well do it right.
Position with insurers.
Yes, absolutely. That was right. Oh, sorry, Councillor Brown.
Just to clarify something, Chair, you made a statement about the bins being on the public footpath.
No, I said beside.
Have you looked,
In the area.
if you walk to Water Scout Hut, have you seen the bins that line there, which is their recycling centre? So I don't think using the bins as are an excuse.
I wasn't making an excuse. I was just.
No, I'm saying that using that isn't an
I'm going to take one more and then I'm going to move us on.
Just a point of clarity for Councillor Brown, the reasons I'm assuming the ones you're referring to, the recycling centre, they are static, they don't move, and they are on the leased land, not public land.
So just to answer that, Chair, it was only the site of them, because that was what was mentioned. Not.
So my question, I thought the Chair was talking about crossing public land to get the bins in now.
All right. I'm going to close it down now because we're going to have to extend anyway. Councillor Clay.
Just quickly, so for my opinion, I don't see no harm in doing it just for the 1.5 to go back. My concern would be who actually undertakes the work.
Yeah,
That
I
would be
think
where my concern falls. Pushing back just that 1 point, creating that little caveat or whatever you want to put the bins like.
Yeah.
But keeping us safe.
the Scouts were asked to come up with a solution to get these bins off the car park, and I think that the solution they've proposed on paper appears to be the best solution. However, I think I consider that what we need to do, not that one, is that we need to correlate between the two insurances. So your Scouts third party insurance, our insurance, and that we'll need discussions with the RFO. And then we would need to bring that back. And I think pragmatically, I know that we would be saying, yeah, great, do it, but we have to consider these other aspects. So if I can sorry, Councillor Brown.
If it was a proposal to speak to the RFO about insurance and clarification on insurance from the Scouts, then I would second that proposal. I think that needs to be clear before we get anything.
Let me just make sure that covers exactly what I meant. So we need a meeting with
I'll talk to the
Scouts, RFO and the Scouts liaison, please.
Yeah.
So we need a meeting with where Kevin can discuss, bring the RFO and the Scouts liaison. Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing that, so yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, but at least tie up with. Okay, so everybody happy on that proposal? And we're all finished discussing. Good. So can I have a show of hands? All
No,
those.
we need a
I seconded it. That we go to the RFO and check insurance
All right,
before
sorry.
we do anything else.
Okay.
Okay.
So can we have a show of hands? All those in favour? We're recorded votes, so that's unanimous. Thank you very much. Right, I am going to need to move that we extend the meeting. We're covered for committee meetings for 2 hours. We actually have to agree. Gentlemen, could you... Doing a school teacher thing. Can we, I need to move that we extend the meeting.
I'm voting.
Thank you. Can I have a show of hands?
Sorry,
Oh.
can I just say, can we put a time limit on it, please? Because even full council meetings are supposed to only last 2.5 hours, and we are less than halfway through the agenda, just halfway through the agenda, about 2 hours. So can I suggest we have an extension for 45 minutes?
We have actually brought other items up, so we are actually more than halfway. I don't particularly want to not cover the agenda. What I do want to do is get things through a bit faster, so we do cover the whole agenda. Okay, so can I have a show of hands, all those in favour? I move to extend the meeting.
That was
So
Well, I suggested 45 and by 45 minutes, Chair. That's.
I know, and I've said that I would like to cover the agenda. So we have a unanimous.
To be fair, I agree with Councillor Smith. I think
Okay.
we can go
Right,
for 5
we
minutes.
had, okay, so we had a motion, we had a vote, we had those in favour was Councillor Vickers, Stallard, Clay, myself. I don't recall what Councillor
I
Brown.
was in favour.
Okay, and Councillor Scully. That, and I take that you're against or abstaining.
No, just that you didn't accept my amendment to your proposal, Chair.
You didn't actually say it was an amendment. I don't recall that you said it was an amendment. Okay, well, we'll move.
Let's get on with the meeting, Chair.
Yes, I would like to do that.
Did you want the standing order number that you are asking to suspend?
What I would like is for less disruption. If I may, because we're actually wasting time, and if we could just move on, please.
Point of order, Chairman. I was offering to assist you with the standing order number because that needs to be quoted in the minutes. I apologise if you feel that that's disruptive.
You were stating that I had ignored your amendment. I was not aware that you had made a formal amendment. You had made a suggestion, which is not an amendment. So we will move on. So we're on to item 8.3, which is the reported rubbish at Kidmore Field. To receive a verbal update from myself. So again, councillors Clay and myself viewed what was reported as a considerable rubbish pile. We did find a relatively untidy number of pallets, about 4 or 5, with some very tidy bags of what I could only describe as whittling sticks, because scouts do love to whittle. However, it was accepted by the scouts that they could indeed tidy it up. They have tidied it up. So if we can consider and determine action, and I guess the action is whether we accept what's been done or otherwise. So Consider and determine action. Councillor Brown.
Sorry, just coming in from a break. Was all the stuff that was down the back side of the container cleared away, which was broken crockery?
It was.
And all
I
that side
was
of it?
told it was. Very quickly, yes.
Yeah, cool. So the particular question was wood, and only wood, for clarity, no rubbish. The crockery smash for the dinosaur dive, which I think what you're alluding to, Councillor Brown, has been removed because it was obviously visible from the road, and it's now sat in one of our containers.
Okay. Councillor Langford-Smith.
Just to explain that when that was reported, it was not relating solely to the Scout area. It was also to the car park area where someone had dumped some tyres and there were bottles that had been dumped in the hedgerow and stuff like that. So it wasn't solely relating to the Scouts area.
I will pick up. I will state that the item on the previous agenda was what was presented was the wood park. However, the china has all gone. So I'm not actually sure that we need to discuss it further. I would propose that we accept that that is now a very neat and necessary pile for Scouts woodworking project, and we take no further action. That's my proposal. Before it's anybody seconds, Councillor Langford-Smith.
I was going to propose that we note that the area has been cleared and move on.
And seconder? All those in favour?
Sorry, Jane, you've got another hand.
Sorry, I thought you were
I'm happy to
seconding.
second that. I'm happy to second that, but I just want to quickly ask Council a question. The Scouts did ask whether or not it's possible to put like a roof over. I'm just wondering if that's something that's...
It's not on the agenda. It's not on the agenda. It's not on the agenda. Let's move on. So all those in favour of Councillor Langford-Smith's proposal, show of hands please. That's unanimous. Item 8.3, cutting at Goodman Fields.
9.1.
I do apologise. Item 9.1, cutting at Goodman Fields. So there was a post on the community Facebook page requesting that the no cut May was ending, but how nice Goodman's Field looked, uncut with paths through that had been cut amongst the grass, and could that stay? So to consider and determine action, Councillor Brown.
Can I ask Sam what knock-on effects it could have for having extra long grass, and also there are, with long grass you get a lot of issues with ticks on dogs and on people. So Lyme's disease is a massive problem from ticks.
Yeah, I think we should consult Sam, and just from my own position, whilst it does look very pretty, I don't know where all those doggies are leaving their business. Sam, would you like to give your view on what you would like to do?
Cutting it down at the end is not really going to be a problem because it's been so hot. I was up there yesterday, it's quite weak. I don't know about the ticks. I mean, I know to the left-hand side it was meant to be wildflower anyway. But I don't think that was sown properly at the time. There's none in there. But as far as cutting goes and maintaining, I mean, it's easy to maintain when we're just cutting pathways.
I'm sorry, are you saying you don't mind it staying as it is, or you would prefer to have it cut? You don't mind either way.
It's not going to impact us a great deal going to cut it again.
The bit that worries me is all these dogs who are now legging it through the long grass and their owners aren't collecting their little gifts. Councillor Brown.
It also, by leaving the grass long, it restricts the use of the field. It's supposed to be a field that people can go and do what they like in, effectively, and having long grass and only paths in it does restrict its use, I feel.
Can I make a proposal? Councillor Langford-Smith.
Also, that field is allocated for people to be able to fly drones, and
Right.
they might find that quite difficult in very long grass.
And they may never be able to find them if they come down. Can I make a proposal? And that would be, so whilst the request was made on social media, there wasn't an outpouring of support or otherwise. There was very little comment. So it fundamentally, as one gentleman who's quite correctly said, it looks very nice. Can it stay? Can I make a proposal that we actually begin to? Sorry, I'll stop. Councillor Vickers.
Before you make the proposal, can I just ask the fear of like going round the crack gate to the station again? There are big holes in Goodmansfield on those paths, really big holes, much more than the cracks on the Hicknell there are. So if we have got soil.
Right, sorry, I'll have to stop you because that is not on the agenda, and I will have to stop. So when we ask for items for the next agenda, perhaps you could remember to say that, but I will have to move on. So I was making a proposal. Goodness me, whose hand was up first? Councillor Brown.
Just on that very point, if there are large holes in the field that people can't see because there's long grass, it brings its own.
Okay,
Yeah, but
I accept.
Yeah.
Okay, Councillor Langford-Smith.
Councillor Scoley was first.
Okay, Councillor Scoley.
I think basically we ought to avoid making a policy decision on this. We let Sam do as and what he thinks is relevant at the time.
Okay.
So otherwise we will find ourselves being stuck to, oh, you need to know this and you need to know that.
Okay,
etc.
thank you. Thank you, Councillor Langford-Smith.
Councillor Vickers has identified that there are large holes which is potentially a health and safety issue. We can ask Sam, because it's health and safety, that Sam can go and have a look at those and deal with it outside of meetings because he has the duty to look at health and safety.
All right. Thank you. So you've got that. What my proposal is going to be actually is that we cut it, but that we take part in any future no-mow months, which I'm sure might be an annual event, and that we communicate back to the gentleman to thank him for his suggestion, but for whatever reasons you wish to put that have come up tonight. That would be my proposal. Before it's second, Councillor Brown.
No, I was going to say
you
with an amendment that we let him know that we also leave the front field long and cut a path in that, and that's traditionally what's been done since the wildflower meadow that didn't happen.
So, yep. Can I show of hands to accept the amendment? Okay. Everybody? Okay. So, and a show of hands. To accept the proposal that we cut as and when you're ready. We partake in future no-mows. We go back to him and
let him know that we leave the lot front
and
field.
we let, thank you, and we let him know that we leave that on. All those in favour? And that's unanimous. Okay. Right, so we already covered 10.1. 10.2. Yes, so this was just to note that there was an action on the previous agenda, item 0826A, to facilitate a meeting between the residents and Greening Denmead, which obviously now, because they have withdrawn from that licence, we no longer require, so we note that. Item 10.3, renewal of licence at St George's Road. Councillor Brown.
for members of council who probably don't know, the reason we took that on, one was to do a wildflower meadow there as well, but the other reason was we mowed part of it and are in charge of part of it, and I think it's Winchester or Hampshire.
Sorry, are you talking about item 10.3?
Yes,
Yes.
but we've moved
Right,
on
I
to
hadn't.
that.
That's what I was just going to
We've
position, but I'm happy
moved,
for
I
you
thought
to.
we had already moved on. Did you not
Item
say
10
You said 10.
Sorry,
Yes, 10.3 is
We had
yeah, item 10 point. No,
it's the licence to
no, we
cultivate.
haven't
Yes.
covered that. We haven't covered this.
No, we haven't. You've just
No.
opened it.
I just opened item 10.3.
Yes, and that's
Yeah,
why
and I
I
was
put my
just going
hand
to
up and
position.
then
Okay, you right.
And I
Then
was
you
filling
position
in.
it.
I was
Thank
filling
you.
in people that
Yeah, I was
didn't
going to
know,
position
and
it,
it
but
was.
you position it. That's fine.
We took it on because we mowed half of it, and Hampshire mowed half of it, which is why we took it on. And we did do a wildflower meadow there, which hasn't particularly worked, but I think it's worthwhile keeping it because then we get to cut it at the same time, and it doesn't have two different lots of people doing it.
It's this one. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with what you've said there. The licence to cultivate is due for renewal in September.
Yes, if
Yeah.
I might remind the committee decided at the last meeting that they would renew this licence. The reason it is on the agenda now is that the licence now requires us to identify what species, what bulbs, etc., etc., which is why in your pack you have a list of what they expect us to provide. And they will only allow us to do those, whatever we have put in our plan.
The new licence to cultivate is exceptionally detailed, so I think we want to try and go for less is more. But if we're free to do anything on our own bit, so I would suggest that we just keep status quo for the bit that's not ours, and if we want to plant bulbs and so on, we do that in our bit. Councillor Brown.
I think that might be quite difficult, but because of where the boundaries of the land is, I think we own one side of the footpath and they own the other side of the footpath, and they probably want to know, unless this is a generic licence to cultivate now, they may well want to know things like that because there's an attenuation tank underneath there.
They specific. I got the impression that this was their general form now for everybody, and they specifically, they want to know exactly what seed you're using, who your supplier is. It's very, very detailed. What your mowing schedule is, so we will still need to actually inform them of the mowing schedule. Councillor Langford-Smith.
I suggest that we tell them it's going to be grass, because that's what it is. We did try the wildflower area, it didn't work, so I think it's just going to be grass. And we give them our mowing schedule, which is once every fortnight in summer.
Do we want to consider any bulb planting in our bit or anything? We don't need to put that on anyway, do we? Okay.
We don't
need
need permission to plant on our own land.
Exactly. Can I have a seconder for that proposal? No, before that, you're not allowed to second it.
Sorry, could I just ask that rather than say every fortnight in summer, we say every fortnight during the grass growing season?
Yes. Okay, so do I have a seconder for... Thank you. Show of hands, all those in favour? Okay. Okay, item 10.4, licence to cultivate number 7, that has terminated as a result, sadly, of the death of the licence holder, and so we note that. Item 10.5, so we had a request from a member of public to consider installation of gym equipment it's my big I've been practicing this word all week. Calisthenic gym equipment. Calisthenics is using minimal equipment and using your body weight for strengthening. have to say it has huge benefits for the elderly in terms of resistance training. The request is simply that. Have we considered it? The cost of the example that she shows us from a company made by Compan for urban street running and things like that type of equipment is 4,000 ex VAT. Consider and discuss, Councillor Langford-Smith.
Chair, whilst this might be very nice when we're looking at a future area for sports equipment, we do have the gym outside of here which we can refer people to, and in addition to which we don't have any budget in this financial year.
Councillor Brown.
They should be redirected to the gym equipment, which is exactly what the person has asked for.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
I think so. I think that has to be our response. Anybody else?
Make my statement of proposal.
Yeah, thank you. So, do we have a seconder? Councillor Brown, can we have a show of hands, please? All
Sorry,
those in favour
what
of
was
the
the
proposal?
proposal?
Just
That we refer the person to the gym equipment that we have out here, and the fact that we actually don't have any budget.
I think it might be something nice for us to think about in the future when we do have budget. Item 10.7, the community garden. To receive a report from myself regarding the community garden to consider and determine action. So, as we've already stated, Greening Denmead have withdrawn from the licence to cultivate. They returned to discussions with Rob Stark at the DCC, and he positioned to them that he was happy for two areas to be made available, one of them being the hexagonal paved area out the side there, already enclosed by a picket fence, which was bare, weedy soil between the pavers, having not been cultivated by the preschool, which is what it was originally set up for. Doug and Greening Denmead have tidied it up, and they have planted a small selection of vegetables within that paving. But clearly Greening Denmead would be happy to know that they have council's blessing for that particular area. The other area is around the back of the car park, which is currently filled, an area of about 10 metres by 5 metres, and the community centre are quite happy that they would be prepared to offer that to Greening Denmead, the community garden, should they wish to cultivate it. Obviously, that would need council approval because it is under the lease. So that's kind of where we are. The Greening Denmead have said that they don't actually plan to do anything this year on that area in any case, so they're literally just on the little paved area out the front. Councillor Brown.
A couple of things, Chair. I don't understand where the remit for this discussion came from, and also if the DCC have agreed, it's nothing to do with the council until it comes to a point where it is classed as disposal of land. And I do note on the map that they supplied that it says agreed at Denmead Greening Community Garden. On the map supplied,
Yeah.
if you look at the print on the bottom map, it says in the left-hand corner behind the houses, it says agreed. Denmead Greening Community Garden.
Yeah, I think that that's
I have to
probably...
take it as it's worded, Chair.
Well, that is, that was something that was supplied by Rob, and I suspect that's just an error of words and can easily be corrected because clearly he understands it isn't agreed until council should agree that, but I take your point.
Could I just make another point?
Yes.
There is no reference that council should agree it.
Sorry?
There is no point that council, you stated council should agree it. We can discuss it.
I'm sorry, I'm misunderstanding what you're saying.
You made a statement to say that council should agree it.
I think you meant Mike, Chair.
Yeah,
Or
should they?
No, no.
Okay, Francis.
I would suggest that this matter be referred to full council. I don't think it falls within the remit of this committee.
Certainly if it comes to discussing should, I use the word should as...
Don't to be aggressive, Chair.
I'm not being aggressive.
Thank you.
Should that piece of land be needed to discuss, then that would need to be discussed at full council because it involves leasing agreement. So it would need to do that. However, I think that Green and Denmead are actually kind of asking, do we have their blessing for the hexagonal paved area? But I don't really. It's a pre-cultivated area that I don't really think that needs to come to us. Councillor Brown.
It's been put on this agenda. As I say, I don't get how it got on this agenda because there was no remit to have this on there. There was no remit to have There was no remit to have a discussion with Denmead Greening.
I answered your question when you raised this at full council. You raised exactly the same question, and I said that the discussions about what we see now took place as a result of the remit to discuss to facilitate a meeting between residents and Greening Denmead. It was there that they said they would like to go back to Denmead Community Centre. I asked them that if anything came out of that, that they provide that to me so I could put it on the agenda as is required. Thank you.
But that would be a full council agenda item.
Chair. I think we've established that it would be a full item, a full council agenda item. I think we've agreed that.
If I may assist, the reason it came onto this agenda is that the community garden has been on this agenda before, therefore it is the place for it to be raised, and it is for this meeting to recommend that this matter now be referred to full council so that full council can deal with it.
Exactly.
Chair, if I might.
You might.
I think Councillor Smith was first.
Chair, your clerk is advised that this needs to be put to full council without further discussion. Can we please take a vote on that?
Fine.
Thank you. I agree that we refer to full council. So, do we have a seconder to the proposal? All in favour? Item 11. 11.1. Claim at Paddock End. The claimant has not proceeded with their claim, and therefore the parish council's insurers are closing their file. So we note that. Item 11.2. Trees by Ashton Road Car Park. We have a quote from our pivot. Thank you. Tree Works for work to 5 trees within the play park to reduce them to a height that matches the others. And we have a quote of £780 for that to consider and determine action. Councillor Langford Smith.
Chair, it's very odd at the moment. They don't look neat. I propose that we go ahead and get the work done.
Okay, before we second that, Councillor Brown.
I'm happy with that proposal, but we don't do it until we're out of bird nesting season.
Or is it another one of those that we want to say, like we've done with the trees on Harvish Road, that it's done in autumn?
Well,
That's the same.
It's the same thing. It's outside of bird nesting.
I thought bird nesting season ended earlier than like
September.
I think.
Yeah. Do we have a seconder?
I was seconding.
Yeah. Okay. Show of hands. All those in favour. Has Councillor Stoward left the meeting now? Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Item 12, King George V Skate Park funding application. Do you have an update for us, Councillor Langford Smith?
I don't, Chair. No.
You don't? Okay, so we'll take that forward.
When we receive one.
Sorry?
I will provide an update when we receive one.
So we'll carry that forward to the next agenda. The King George V footpath. Okay, so we have two quotes. So this is the footpath. It's currently not tarmac. We have two quotes, one from Oakhampton and one from David Newman. Oakencroft, sorry. Oakencroft is the proposal is a tarmac. So the quote is for a tarmac path, and their quote is 6,880, inclusive of that.
No.
Is it Oakhampton or
No,
Oakencroft?
that's incorrect.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I've got
sorry,
David-
that's incorrect.
I've got David Newman.
So we've got we've got three quotes.
Yeah.
We've got two for tarmac,
Yeah.
which is
We've got the new one
David
today.
Newnham, which was 5,800 plus VAT. Then we had Oakencroft to tarmac would be 3,600, and then Oakencroft to Poos, the same limestone surface that we've got now at 1,140.
The only issue, thank you for that, Francis, the only issue between directly comparing the quotes, because it kind of sounds like there's an obvious one to go for, is that the Oakhampton quote is light on words in terms of, if we compare it to David Newman, they're very, very specific exactly what the quotes cover, and if we were inclined to accept Oakencroft's quote, I think we would need to ask them for a more detailed quote, more in line with David. So we're comparing the same things. Councillor Brown.
This should have been gone out, been sent out, that we give them a measurement of the path, what we want done to it, and we ask them quote to quote, and then it's quoting like for like.
I believe that was certainly the areas to cover. The request for prices did go out with that. However, if you look at the level of detail from David Newman in terms of it details removing the spoil, it details using the existing concrete edges, and Oakhampton's doesn't do that. And I'm just suggesting if we were to go with the lower cost quote, we should make sure it is including absolutely everything that David Newman has quoted for, which would, to me, would be a sensible thing to know what we're paying for. Councillor Brown.
Well, why are we changing the surface? Because as one of the quotes says,
Okay,
that
so these-
the limestone chippings
Yeah.
are already there, and it's a darn sight cheaper than putting tarmac down.
It is.
And
it
it's also
is.
more environmentally friendly, I would say.
It is, except the limestone pathing, I understand, gets damaged by football boots and so on, and is lasting only about. When was the last time we had to have it done? About
3
4
years.
3 or 4 years. So it is going to be a repetitive cost, as opposed to a tarmac longer term solution. Councillor Brown, I think you were first.
This is in a play park, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
In a countryside play park.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think tarmac is particularly appropriate to put in there, and tarmac will break up, it will need repairing, so it's not a one-time only. The cost is considerably different, and
Yes, I
if one path has lasted 4 years, is it not something that we can order the chippings and our ground staff hire a whacker plate and put the chippings down ourselves?
I don't know if it's just the surface that's damaged or whether edgings are damaged and so on. Councillor Langford-Smith.
I think we're looking only at replacing a very small section of this path, not the entire path.
No, the
The
entire
quote is for
path.
the entire thing, yeah.
Are there other paths in the play area that are also scalpings?
There is only one path through that play area. It's the main one.
Goes from gate to gate.
Right, okay, then, yeah.
Or is the path just
Right.
scalping?
So
No.
Is the path just scalping at the moment?
limestone, but
It's-
it's
Like
broken up.
It's
Yeah.
Basically, you can just put more scalpings on the top, use a whacker plate, wet it down and whack it, or let it go solid again. I've done it before, loads of times. Very easy to repair.
Right. Are we suggesting? So is the suggestion that our groundsmen do it, or that we consider the quote from Oak and Croft for the £1,368 to redo the entire path in limestone? Who was first? Councillor Brown.
Can we ask our head groundsman if they think that's going to be something they can actually do?
Yeah, we can do it.
Yeah.
So we've got a budget for no path, but let's see why we don't use it, that's the only thing. I do
We've-
get told we've got this budget, I need to use it, and I haven't used anything on pathways for 3 years.
Okay.
I guess
So-
now we might as well use it, but that's why I said at the time. Because that just breaks out with the football boots and you've just got sharp stones. I don't know why that keeps failing the Rossborough report. But my question is like the tarmac. The whole inside end is tarmac. So the actual surface isn't in danger, but I would say, because it just keeps, kids just keep running through their football boots, they're just going to keep jamming it up.
Okay. Let's try and conclude quickly on this. Councillor Langford-Smith.
I would suggest if we've got budget and we're on the recommendation of the head groundsman we go with the tarmac, then we do that. Councillor Clare is standing.
Did we actually have the budget? No, I'm not sure that we did. So the
We've
new
got
the
the
top,
3-6.
our budget is
We've got 3-6 if we need it. Right. Where's the other one?
5,000.
Where's the
It's
other one?
5,184 or thereabouts in the
It's
footpath budget. 5,800.
So it's 5,008. Right, what I would suggest then, if I can recommend a proposal, is that we proceed with the 3,600, provided that the
That's extra.
provided that the methodology.
I got 3,600.
But we asked, the proposal should be that we go
Right.
with a cheaper quote, provided it is to the same spec as the cheap, as the more
Okay,
expensive
can
one.
I bring us back then? So what in discussions on the but on the available budgets and so on. What I would propose is that we go with the tarmac quote, which was 3,600 from Oakencroft, as long as it is the same specification, same level of work as David Newman was. Councillor Brown.
The only issue we're going to have with that, Chair, is if they come back and say it's not and it's dearer.
They quoted today for that, but I can't answer that because we haven't actually.
Then we'd have to come
They
back.
did say as. Yes, then we'd have to come back.
Chair, I've made a proposal and Councillor Clay seconded.
Oh, sorry, can you repeat your proposal?
Was it
Please.
tarmac?
Tarmac is in the budget. So
Yeah, but we have to decide which quote to go for. There's two very, very wildly different quotes. So I would say we would be going for the cheaper tarmac quote if it is of the same specification to the work that David Newman's have quoted.
I'm sure if we've got a quote, Chair, that we asked the company the same question.
No, well,
Did we not?
I don't know what the questions were asked. All I can say is one quote is very, very detailed and one is much less so.
So quite like the Bizzle and Waitrose, isn't it? Do you know what? There's two different,
Right.
No,
Okay, let's move on. We have a second proposal to have a tarmacked path. I think we understand that we need to double check that quote. Councillor Brown.
Is this a health and safety risk, or is it just?
It has been highlighted in
but
the inspection
not as a health and
as
safety.
in need of attention.
In need of attention. So I would like to think that with due diligence we actually check the quotes out and make sure they're correct and bring it back to the next meeting before going on a quote.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that we need to make sure the specifications are the same.
But then we need to bring it back to the next meeting and not
They
make
did
it.
measure both of those when I went round. So this is
Right.
going on now. This is
Okay.
what people look like.
Right. So assuming that
They did measure and they both had wheels, so
yeah.
it's going to bring enough tarmac.
And this is the path, it's not
Yeah,
a road.
and they both said you've got the edges, there's just needs to be touched, they can't.
The one today didn't. Did it?
Chair, can I amend my proposal that we go with the cheaper of the tarmac quotes?
Thank you.
Can I propose, can I second that, please?
Yeah. And have a show of hands, please. Thank you.
With the sound, I mean, the sound reference to what earlier
Okay.
about sick options.
With council's permission,
You can get 12
with-
ones delivered before.
right? Can we attend, please? With council's permission, I would like to defer item 12.3 to the next agenda.
We haven't got budget anyway.
Right, I would like to, so I propose we defer to the next agenda, item 12.3, skate park replacement. Do I have a seconder?
Chair, I believe we can deal with that quite quickly.
We have a report and so on. I would like to defer it to the next agenda. Do we have a seconder? Oh, sorry, Councillor Brown. Sorry, is that you seconding?
That was me seconding.
Thank you.
That we
Thank
defer
you.
it to the
Show
next
of hands,
meeting.
all those in favour to
I
defer
want
to
to go
the
home
next.
tonight.
Yeah. Right. Show of hands in favour of deferring to the next amenities agenda. I think that was unanimous. Okay, thank you. The cutting deck equipment. So, Sam, can you very quickly tell us what that's about?
Yeah, I've had a demo, all the lads are happy with it, it comes with a roller, so hands the cricket.
Nice strike.
It'll fit each of the tractors, yeah, it was nice structure. It fits each of the tractors, so as it is at the minute, we've just got one deck for each tractor, so if that deck goes, the tractor's out and that. So this can then just fit on each tractor. So,
Councillor Langford-Smith.
I believe the trust and debt review has been cobbled together from bits of others that varies broken at various points. So I would propose that we go with the one that Sam has looked at.
Councillor Brown.
The RFO has shown budget, and I will second that proposal.
Yeah. Any more comments?
That's fine.
Show of hands, those in favour? Agreed. Enjoy your new toy. Okay, thank you very much. So, incidents. Right, incidents, 14.1 incidents. We had 2 incidents reported. 60, Sam, can I just check that the 101 report is actually the same incident as the 16th of June report? So the 16th of June from the public, 17th of June, the 101, the motorcycle. Councillor Brown.
Can I suggest that we fill our own form out that we have and bring these to council? Because on that 101 form, it has a lot of details that don't need to be in the public domain.
Right.
As in phone numbers and...
Okay, so
Yep.
we absolutely.
So we should use our own form that we have for reporting incidents.
We
Okay.
take that action, thank
Yep.
you. Thank you. Did we have any new incidents other than those 2 answers?
Not that I'm aware.
Okay, thanks very much. Item 15, social media post. Just to confirm, last time we agreed 3 things. The snake swing replacement, which went on. It was also agreed to do the new bench location on Harvest Road. I did not do that quite simply because it's not there yet, and I'd rather we publicise that when we've actually got something to show, a photo to show. Councillor Brown.
You could have had it done coming soon.
Could have, but...
It gives people a bit of excitement that something's happening in the village, you know. Some of us need some excitement in the village.
So would you, can I ask, hang on, we've not finished yet, thank you. Can we attend and then we'll be finished quicker? Thank you. Sam, are you expecting that bench to go in anytime soon? In which case I would propose that we cover that.
It's not ordered yet.
It's not ordered yet.
Chair, I thought this was for new social media, not old.
Well, it will be a new post.
Well, it's not. It's old because it was discussed, and this is for new social media, which we are going to put on about the footpath by the bowling club. And that, as far as I was aware, was the only thing we're going to...
You're correct, we were certainly going to do that, so I'm quite happy that we leave it at that. So is everybody happy that the only thing for new for social media will be the notification about what's happening at the bowling club? Yeah. Okay, so, okay. Any matters for the next agenda? Something to put on, let me handle later, it was the polls or something.
Well, no, we agreed that Simon's going to look at the polls and report back in terms of
Okay. All right. So,